Imagine this. You're standing at the edge of a beautiful, sunlit meadow. The air is fresh, birds are singing, and everything feels right. You've worked so hard to get here, letting go of old burdens, and suddenly, happiness is right there, within reach. But instead of stepping forward, you freeze. A quiet voice inside whispers, "What if it's too good to be true? What if it all falls apart?" And just like that, you turn back to the familiar shadows. Why does this happen? Why are we so afraid to be truly happy? It's something I've noticed in the way things really work. You see, happiness isn't just a fleeting feeling. It's like opening a door to a whole new way of living. But deep down, many of us carry this hidden fear that if we let ourselves be happy, something bad will follow. It's as if we've been taught that joy is dangerous, like a fragile glass that might shatter at any moment. Think about it. Remember those times when everything was going well. Maybe a great day at work, or a moment of pure connection with someone. And then out of nowhere, you start waiting for the other shoe to drop. This can't last, you think. And sometimes we even sabotage it ourselves, picking fights or dwelling on tiny flaws just to bring things back to what feels normal. This fear isn't random. It's woven into how we see the world. We're all connected in this vast web of experiences, where one person's joy ripples out and touches others. But if you've spent years building walls to protect yourself from pain, letting happiness in means tearing those walls down. It's scary because it changes everything. Imagine living in an old creaky house that's familiar, even if it's drafty and dim. You've gotten used to its quirks, the leaky roof, the squeaky floors. Now someone offers you a bright, spacious new home, full of light and warmth. But instead of moving in, you hesitate. What if I miss the old place? What if the new one has hidden problems? That's the fear of happiness. It's the fear of leaving behind the known for something better, something unknown. And here's where it gets interesting. Most of us operate on these outdated habits of thinking, like following a worn-out path through the woods, because it's the one we've always taken, even if it leads to the same dead end. We tell ourselves stories. Happiness is for other people, or if I'm too happy, I'll lose it all. These aren't just thoughts. They're like invisible threads pulling us back. But reality is always communicating with us, sending little nudges, a chance meeting, a sudden insight, or even a dream that sticks with you. These aren't accidents. They're the world's way of saying, hey, there's more out here. You don't have to stay stuck. Take a moment and think about your own life. Have you ever felt that pull? Maybe after a promotion or falling in love. When joy bubbles up, but then doubt creeps in. Am I worthy of this? What if it exposes my weaknesses? It's like being afraid to swim in a calm ocean because you've only known stormy seas. We cling to our struggles because they've become part of who we are. Happiness asks us to redefine ourselves, to step into a version of life where things flow more easily. But that requires trust. Trust in the way everything is connected. Trust that the universe isn't out to trick you. I've seen this pattern over and over. People reach the brink of real transformation, where old pains start to fade and new possibilities emerge. Yet they pull back, choosing the comforter of fear over the risk of joy. Why? Because fear feels safe. It's predictable. Happiness, on the other hand, is alive, unpredictable, like a river that might carry you to places you've never imagined. And in this web of connections, when you allow happiness, it doesn't just change you, it affects everyone around you, creating waves of positivity that come back multiplied. But what if we looked at it differently? What if this fear is just a sign that you're on the verge of something bigger? Science is starting to catch up to what we've intuitively known, that our brains wire themselves based on repeated experiences, creating grooves that make change feel threatening. It's not magic, it's how we're built. Yet those same brains can rewire, forming new paths toward joy. The key is recognizing that the fear isn't the enemy, it's a messenger, pointing out the old habits that no longer serve you. As we dive deeper, you'll see how this ties into the bigger picture of how reality operates, not as a rigid structure, but as a living, breathing network where everything influences everything else. And in the next part, we'll explore those hidden mechanisms that keep the fear alive and how to start shifting them. For now, just sit with this. You're not alone in this fear, but you don't have to let it define you. Building on that edge, where fear meets possibility, let's peel back another layer. You've recognized the fear, that quiet resistance to happiness. But why does it stick around? It's not just a random emotion. It's tied to the deeper ways everything connects and flows in this world. Imagine you're part of a vast living tapestry, where every thread, every thought, every encounter weaves into the next. Most of us are still tugging on old frayed threads, holding on to patterns that once kept us safe, but now just keep us small. Happiness? It pulls at those threads, threatening to unravel the whole thing and reveal something brighter underneath. Think about it like this. Picture a tree that's grown in a cramped pot for years. Its roots are twisted, adapted to the limits, and it's survived. just fine. But transplant it to open soil, where it can spread out and thrive. Suddenly it's vulnerable. Wind might bend it, rain could flood it, but oh, the growth it could achieve. That's us with happiness. We're afraid because it demands. We let go of the pot, the constraints we've mistaken for security. Those old habits whisper, stay put. You know this works. But reality is always hinting otherwise, through those moments that feel too perfect to be coincidence. Running into an old friend right when you need advice, or stumbling on a book that answers a question you've been carrying for months. These aren't magic tricks. They're the tapestry speaking, showing you that life is interconnected, responsive, like a conversation where the universe replies to your deepest questions. I've noticed how this plays out in everyday stories. Take someone who's finally found peace after a tough breakup. Laughter comes easier, days feel lighter, but then the doubt creeps in. What if I get hurt again? Better to keep my guard up. It's like refusing to dance at a party because you once tripped. You miss the rhythm, the joy of moving freely. This fear stems from living by outdated rules, the ones that say struggle is normal and happiness is suspicious. But science backs this up in simple ways. Our minds create pathways from repeated experiences like trails in a forest that get deeper with every walk. Fear carves deep trails, making joy feel like bushwhacking through unknown terrain. Yet those same minds can forge new paths. It's how people transform, stepping into lives where happiness isn't a visitor, but a resident. And here's the shift. What if this fear is actually a signal that you're ready for more? In this network of connections, when you lean into happiness, it doesn't isolate you, it links you deeper. Friends notice your glow and open up. Opportunities appear like doors unlocking. But to get there, you have to question those old habits. Why do we cling to them? Because they've shaped our identity. I'm the one who overcomes hardship, we think. Happiness challenges that, asking, who are you without the struggle? It's uncomfortable, like shedding an old skin, but on the other side is freedom, a way of being where you trust the flow, where signs and synchronicities guide you instead of scaring you. Remember, transformation isn't about forcing change. It's about noticing how reality already supports it. We've all had those glimpses, a perfect sunset that resets your mood, or a kind word that shifts your whole day. These are reminders that the world isn't chaotic. It's patterned, alive with meaning. Science calls it things like neuroplasticity or quantum entanglement. But forget the jargon. It's just the way everything echoes and responds. You're not separate from it. You're woven in. So, when fear arises, pause and ask, is this protecting me or just holding me back? By seeing it this way, you start to loosen its grip, inviting in the happiness that's been waiting. Technical moment. If what you're hearing now resonates with you, hit subscribe. This will show that the information is valuable. As we move to the final parts, we'll talk about activating this, turning recognition into real steps forward. For now, know that understanding these hidden pulls is a first real move toward freedom. Now that you've seen the fear and understood those hidden pulls, let's talk about activation. Actually stepping through that door into happiness. It's not about forcing it with grand gestures or strict rules. It's more like allowing a river to find its natural course after years of being dammed up. You've been holding back the flow with old habits and doubts, but once you start letting go, the current carries you forward. The question is, how do you begin? Start by noticing the signs, those little coincidences that pop up, like a song on the radio that speaks directly to your mood, or a conversation that clarifies exactly what you've been wrestling with. These aren't random. They're the world's way of guiding you, whispering that it's safe to trust the bigger picture. Imagine you're walking a familiar path, one that's safe but narrow, lined with thorns of worry. Happiness invites you to veer off onto a sunnier trail, but fear says, stick to what you know. To activate the change, try this. Next time joy bubbles up, maybe from a simple pleasure, like a warm cup of coffee or a genuine laugh, don't push it away. Sit with it. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I let this in? Often you'll realise the fear is just an echo of past pains, not a prediction of the future. It's like cleaning out an attic full of dusty boxes. You sort through the old stuff, keeping what's useful and releasing the rest. Science shows us this isn't woo-woo. Our bodies and minds respond to positive shifts, releasing chemicals that make us feel connected and alive, turning what we once called miracles into understandable processes of growth and healing. And here's the beauty. As you practice this, the web of connections around you starts to shift too. You might notice people drawn to your lighter energy, or opportunities aligning in ways that feel effortless. It's transformation in action. Not a sudden overhaul, but a gentle unfolding, like a flower opening to the sun. Remember, most of us have been running on those outdated ways, convinced that happiness is fragile or undeserved. But what if it's the natural state, and fear is the exception? By choosing to embrace it, even in small moments, you rewrite your story. Think of it as tuning into a clearer signal. The static of doubt fades, and the real music of life comes through. Of course, there will be stumbles. Old habits die hard, like a bird hesitant to leave its cage even when the door is open. But each time you choose happiness over fear, you build momentum. Pay attention to the nudges, a dream that inspires you, a stranger's smile that lifts your day. These are reality's way of saying you're on the right track. Science backs it. Practices like gratitude rewire our brains, making joy more accessible, proving that what feels magical is often just the elegant dance of cause and effect in our connected world. You're standing on the threshold of understanding yourself anew, where happiness isn't something to chase, but something to allow. It changes how you move through life, turning everyday moments into sources of wonder. So, take that step. Let the river flow, trust the signs, and watch how the fear loses its power. If this video has shifted something in you, write in the comments, "I am ready to be happy." Write it as your promise. Nobody